So what is mean by events? I was asking you people. Well, guys, we already discussed about events, right? When we are discussing with pseudo classes. So what is mean by event? So JavaScript interact with the HTML. Interaction with the HTML is getting handled by these events only. Events is nothing but whatever you do with your cursor pointer or your keyboard. That everything is an event only. That occurs when user or browser manipulate the page. For example, when I click here, what I was doing, I was just getting my cursor from a particular place from typing to the other line of code, right? So it's also one of the event. Which type of event used there? Click event, right? I just clicked on it, so it's an event. So when I put my mouse on any of this line, so what is this event will be called as? Hover event, right? So like this, we have many events in JavaScript, like on click, on double click. So if you see many pages, when you right click, it will show that you don't have the permission to copy. If you go for the banking sectors, it will not allow you to copy any data from the net banking. Why? Because how they know that the user is particularly trying to copy the data? It's just about events. So each and everything that we do in a browser, that whole thing can be handling by the events only. If there is no event, we can't even manipulate the DOM. DOM is nothing but document object model. So whichever the screen that you see, okay, UI, so that will be called as the DOM. Okay, so the DOM can't be handled or managed or manipulated if we don't have any events. So each and everything will be handled or managed by the events only. Okay, so if we just go with naming of few events, so what I'll do, I'll just go with multiple line commands. Yeah. Yes. So let me go with on click. You already know. These all are also what we say camel case letters only. Okay. So on click, on DB click. What is mean on DB click? On double click. Okay. So next one will be hover on mouse over. Okay, on mouse over. Okay. What's the time, sir? Time ఎంత మళ్ళీ ఇంకేమంత భిన్న వచ్చినారు here. Okay. So like on blur, on focus, on change. Basically, it is one of the important event that we use majorly. It is also one of the important on submit. Most of the time, the event that we use is on submit only, right? Whatever the website you take, submission will be the major handling of the whole data. So on submit, on reset also one of the best event. Even you can handle the events on load also. That means whenever the user renders the page, reloads the page, and that each on that particular scenario also, we can handle our events. Clear? On load, then on focus out. You know how to make a focus. We have seen when discussing pseudo classes, right? Focus. Out focusing that also. That means, for example, when I was in a particular line, I was focused on that line. When I just skip out of that line, I was out focusing that line and I was starting to focus on other line. So on that particular fraction of second also can be handled by using these events. Okay. So resize of your screen, it is also one of the event only. and scroll is also one of the event. These all can be handled. These are some of the events only. These are not also complete events. Okay, so these all can be handled by using these events. Okay, so we'll came to know about how to handle these events. It's not a big deal. Like however we write the functions. Okay, same way on click dot on hover. So we'll use the same method. Okay, so for example, on hover, if you want to just give it. Yeah. So for example, if you want to handle something on the on hover, what you will do, you write the conditions and then on dot hover or whichever the event you want to handle on that particular condition. Again, you can write the condition, what is the output that you want to represent. Clear? So you once we come to the functions, there is a concept called default event management and all. Okay, we'll discuss them while dealing with the functions. So for now, just go through the what are the events that we have. Okay. For example, if you go with the browser, where is the browser? Right line. Mm, mm. Okay. So you're right even. So document is nothing but the whole body whichever you're seeing that will be called as the document. As I said, your document object model DOM. Okay, document. So what I was doing, document document on add event listener. So this is the JavaScript predefined keyword which will help us to deal with the events. So whenever you want to access any event, you can access directly by using this add event listeners. Okay, add event listeners plays a very key role when you want to handle anything. Okay. So I'll give like function. It's I just consider it as one of the function. So what I need to do, I'll go with one of the function called click. Okay. So click event I'll do. So whenever what this mentions is whenever users clicks on the document, okay. So document what we will do, let me run a function. So I want to run a function whenever users clicks on the which thing on the document, right? Document in the sense when anywhere he clicks on there, I want to do some changes. So what we will do, let us change like document dot object, sorry, not object body, right? So let us change body dot style dot background. Okay. So even you can give the styles by using the JavaScript also. Dynamic styles also you can use. So I can do like, okay. So what we are doing here. So we just given a function like, you downloads here, I don't want any. Unexpected program where we, yeah, closing is not done. Uh, Let me do one thing. This is so let us add it here. Okay, so if you see, I was just accessing my document and I was just adding a event listener. So event listener can handle any type of event that you want to give. If you see here, when I hover, it can see what is the type of the event it was taking. It is already taken click event. Okay, so mouse event. So now if you see, now if I go to the browser and let's try this. See, as soon as I click on my document is nothing but my body. Anywhere I clicked it, what happening? I just adding one color. So if I just duplicate it and add one more add event listener. Okay, like we'll do the double click. Okay, double click will make it white. So let's try. So as soon as I clicked here, double click is not working. Okay, yeah. Let's go with any other event. Okay, I'll use onload. I just swapped it. Okay, onload I was making it orange, and when it see onload it became it should be what the hell is happening now? what we are doing here. So we are just changing our, I just added one function and I just want to trigger it whenever my page get loaded. So what I can do, function. I was just returning it. Let's see. So now if you see, as soon as it got loaded, okay. So instead of directly accessing my document, I triggered this function just included with a paragraph. Okay, there is a paragraph which will load by default, right? So I just added to a element. On the element, I just added onload event. So onload event, I was just passing one function which is nothing but change BG. So for that function, as soon as the browser get loaded that function, what happens? So we return like change the document background. That's what we mentioned. So then we also mentioned like click function. When I click on the body, directly it was removing my BG. Got it? So like that, I can just add any events by using this add event listeners. Okay, clear? Is it clear? Anybody have any doubt with this? Yes, Tanora. Okay. So is everyone clear with this topic? Events, what we will do. So what you need to do in today's task is try to write down each and every event, because you don't know which event you're going to use when you enter into the frameworks. Okay. So the way of writing will be changed. As I always says, the events will be same in any framework, whether it's a Python or whichever framework you take. Majorly front end you are handling. When you go with React or JavaScript, React or Angular, you need to know very much about events. Why? Because EAPI calls may be like error codes, error logs, everything can be handled by using this events only. So you need to know about what all the events that you know. You need to know. If you know the proper event, you don't need to write 100 lines of code. You can just trigger that particular errors by using the events only. So try to note down each and every event that you have in JavaScript. Clear? So let's go to our next topic. Predefined objects. Okay. So predefined object is not a single topic, it's a mixture of all the topics. We are just mentioning with the name. Okay. File name. So now let me give some of the brief of what are the predefined objects that we're going to discuss today. So I guess most of the things that we discussed, string we discussed, right? Array we discussed, right? These two covered. Object we'll be going to discuss. Then math, okay. Date, which we already partially discussed. DOM, no, it's predefined objects I was discussing about, not the topics. BOM. What is the difference between DOM and BOM? Anybody have idea? Exactly. So document object model deals with the whole document. That is nothing but whatever you see within this down to the border. Clear? This white background. Browser object model deals with whole thing. Your whole browser, what you're seeing in the above. Like if you have click on any search bar on the here, like navigations, going forward and backward, these all things can be handled by BOM, browser object model. Clear? So in this already we covered events, right? Console also I have almost covered. Okay. So I don't think there is more things to discuss in console. So I'll go with math here now today. Okay. So math also plays a very key role. Nowadays we are not using much, but it will help you to when you're dealing with algorithm projects, math will come into picture and you need to use it more. Okay. So now what I'll do. So let's go with math object. So math objects generally will not have any constructors. Okay. So what is meant by this constructor? So you will know, we will just discuss about in the upcoming class. Okay, math object here. So when you go with the math object, first concept we'll go with is the math round. Okay, under this we'll have math round. So what is this math round will do? Anybody have idea? Decimal to an integer. Give an example. Just a normal example I was asking. 4.5. What you will get? 4.6. 5. Exactly. So math round, what it will do, you know the upper values and lower values. Simply we say ceiling values and lower values, right? So if the any value is less than 4.5, it will be considered as the above value, 5 rand. 4.5 above, I said. Okay. So any value in between 4 to 4.5 will be considered as lower value. Okay. So for example, what I'll do, let us write a script at first. Product price, okay, is equal to 42.6, I give like this. Okay. So now let's go console console.log of round. So if I give math dot round off, what is which one I need to make it round? Product price I need to handle, right? So product price. Okay, so what will be my output? 40. So like math caps. See, we got round of 43 here because math round what it will go for the base value on the seal value. Seal in the sense upper values. Okay, don't get confused. So next, if you see, as I just now said, seal and floor, what this will do. So the same number, if you see math dot CIL and math dot floor. So just we can remember by using normal seal always in the top, floor will down. Same way, when you accessing seal value of any particular, what is that value? For example, it's a 42.6 or 43, anything it you take, the seal value always gives the upper value. For example, even it is 42.3. Okay, when I use round figured value, then only it will give less value. But seal what it will do, it will give 44 only. Even though if you use 2 or 0.1 or anything. Why? Because seal will always go with the top value. So if you go with the or output, see, I was getting 43 and floor value 42. Got it? So let me give it like, so now it is 42.6, but as per the round, I should get, what is the value I should get? 43. But let us change it to 42.1. Now what is the values we'll get? See, 42, 43, 42. Okay. So let's go with abstract value. What is this abstract value will do? So generally when you go with the Flipkart or anything, the taxes, everything, if you see, you can even get the point value also, you get exact price. Why? Because that where we are in the abstract price. What is this abstract price will do? It will give you the exact output of the whatever the calculation you are doing. Okay, including the very native decimals also it will take. So Not ABS. It will be handled with ABS. So next we'll go with trunk. How many have idea about trunk? Trunk value. Hmm? No idea. No issues. Okay. So let's see what is the output for abstract C. It was just extracted the exact output for this, whatever we give, including the native decimals. So trunk, what if you just go with an example to understand what is native trunk? Let me go with the example in variable x is equal to 8.9. Okay. What happened? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. So what we got here? So what is our x value here? So trunk value, what generally it will do is whichever the fractional digits you give, okay, any fraction digit, whether it's a 2-digit fractionals or 10-digit fractionals, it will just remove them by adding a floating number to it. Okay, simply to say, return the integer part of a floating number. Okay, it returns an integer by removing the which thing decimals. Clear? Sorry, fractional digits. Okay, so whenever you want to convert, like if you see, you don't need to, you don't want to go with round figure or anything. You don't need to depend on this math round seal and all. When you use this trunk, it will just extract and delete all the. You said? Yeah, yeah. By removing the fractional digits, it will just give me the integer value. Clear? That's what my trunk will do, basically. So if you go with next one, like min and max, if you just go with one of the example, like okay, console dot of dot min of, okay, 0 comma, give me numbers. Yeah. So what is this math min and max will do? Tell me what it will do. Random value. Let me make all the math objects, some of the math objects. Min, max, or good in mathematics here. Tell me some mathematics methods, right? I was asking normal methods. That also, if you don't know what I should do. Then what we have? Square root also is one of the mathematics, right? Square root of, I don't need these many numbers, square roots. For R23, R22, again, easy squares, which I know. Okay, also let me give power also. Power of P comma 2. Okay, so if you see min, max, random, pi, square, and power, some of the values. Okay, pi is not a function. I know. So if you see where it started with 0, I guess. So min, I guess, right? So the value of min 0. Next will be max. It is 56 in our array. Okay. Next it will be the random number. Okay. So if you see this random number after this 0 and 56, let me reload it. See, every time this number is getting updated, but not other numbers are getting updated. We will use this type of randoms usually. When you check with the OTPs, every time you will get a different number combinations. So how it was happening? Basic rules there. Random number. Every time the DB need to generate a random number and it need to send a message. Clear? They're also using the basic JavaScript concepts only, but in a effective way. Clear? So next, if you see every time, then next it will be pi number, pi value. You already know. So next will be square root. Whichever the number we given, that square root can be handled here. Next, I was asking for 4 comma 2 power, right? 4 comma 2 or 3 comma 2, I guess. 3 comma 2 power. Yes. So we got 9. 3 into 3, 9, right? 3 comma 2 power. So that's how these are some of the basic math objects only, not all the math objects. So like this, you can just access any math objects in the JavaScript by using what is the keyword here? Math. So as I said from starting, any concept like HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, each concept is starting with whichever name depends on the tag also will be the concept name only, right? Whichever the concept you want to discuss, the almost the properties of that concepts will be depending on that name only. Yeah. So these are some of the math objects, okay, that you can use in the JavaScript. Okay. So also, however, you're doing with try to check all not all the math objects are required for you, but check major math objects which you needed. Okay, for API calls or for handling the percentages. As I said, math objects we will not use regularly, but in very rare projects like e-commerce and all, in such projects we'll definitely use because we need to deal with the algorithmic values there and all. Okay, in such cases you will use this math objects very seriously. So apart from that, you will never use it. I didn't use not even a single. One time I used when dealing with the e-commerce. Apart from that, till today I didn't use it anywhere. This one. Yeah. So but try to be. If you know the values, it will be better. So no, just note it down, keep it. Okay. So next, I'll go with next object which we have date. Okay. So date object is a constructor way of object in the sense. Let me deal with date here. For example, as we already seen this when dealing the switch or run, right? Switch. Okay, let today is equal to date I given. So what will be my output? Hmm? Hmm? Today date? Everything. As per the Indian Standard Time, we will get each and everything, time, date, okay, including seconds. Every time when I reload, the seconds also will be going to change. 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. See, it will be dynamic. Every time it is going to update because JavaScript object, every time it is taking dynamic value. It's not a fixed value, the data object. Okay. So, for example, if you want to extract any particular objects from this particular data object, child object. So, for example, these are called as setter methods. We call it as generally. Okay. So, setter methods. So what is this setter methods will do is it will help us to extract any particular format of particular scene of data from a date object. For example, same data, what I'll do, data, okay. Date dot like no variable data is equal to no okay. So it's completely new object I was taking. I don't want to deal with the new whole thing. Data dot get month. Okay. I'll set month as 9. Okay. Now if I try to console out now, data. So what will be my output? Can anybody guess at least? Hmm? October what? We couldn't be say. Should get. Set month is it here? We given. Set month of 9. The month should change, right? Here is change. See, even though I was accessing the dynamic change, dynamic particular date, what it was showing here. So I was accessing date, right? Date should give me the exact date of today. But I was just manipulating by it by using the setter methods. So I was just setting the year here. So as the year changes, automatically the date also will changes, right? See, it was going to the October 6th. Okay. Now, if you say October 6th, as per the original date, it should be Friday. But as we are accessing 2021 data, so what it was showing? It was showing it as a Wednesday. The same way we should be able to access the month also. Why it wasn't working? Yeah. My birthday. Okay, Thursday, July 6th. It was taking month or date. July will be 6th, right? June will be 6th, right? Why it was considering July? Is it mad or I am mad? Time out interval, UTC seconds, set minutes, milli hours, year, this and all already we know. Time also we know. What is this? Where? Yeah, no issues. Let's leave about it. We don't need to waste our time more on it because setter methods we'll never use it. But we just need to know how to manipulate the code. Okay, understood how why what is the need of manipulating the code? Just check one of the example. Just think in which cases we'll manipulate the code usually. Hmm? Just think in which methods. Just give an example. Think about it. In which examples we'll in general life where we'll manipulate the dates. Hmm? For example, just a registration form. Okay. So when you given the year date of birth, so there you are just you need to access calculate the age, right? So this R can be, for example, I was accessing the date with the today date, and also I was comparing the date with the date I was picking from the drop down. For example, I was taking with 1996 or any year if I choose, I need to calculate the age of the person. So how I can calculate the age? I should know the exact today date for that, right? So I'll compare what is the differentiation between how many years difference is there or what is the date is there difference. These and all can be handled by the setter methods only, right? So in such cases we'll use. What you people are here, right? Just basic thing I was asking you people that you will do every day, right? Any form you take, but if there is a birth, definitely you will need a this thing. Okay, clear, no issues. So that's sort of some other topic about setter methods. Okay. Date also, as we have already seen, day we can extract separately. When we are discussing the switch case, right? We seen how we can extract the particular date or day out of my date object, right? So in the same way, you can use the setter also works in the same way. Whatever the objects that you can access through date, can be accessed through the setter methods also, because it's only for this date methods only. Clear? So is anybody have any doubts with math and date objects that we discussed so far? So I was telling I was not discussing anything, but most of the concepts we are covered. Okay, if you go also, very less objects will be there inside of them. You just try to check these two. So next we'll go with the DOM here. So what is meant by DOM? Document object. Okay, till now we have seen manipulating in the console only, right? So now we will see how we can manipulate the data in the document object model, nothing but DOM directly by using the JavaScript. So document object model. Okay. So first you need to know what is meant by DOM. Document object model is a constructed a tree of objects. Okay. It will have the access to each and every element in your document. Clear? Which are get loaded to your document object model in the browser. So document object model is a platform and language also that allows programs or scripts, whatever you write, to manipulate the predefined content, or to help you to manipulate or update the content and structure of your whole document. It have the capabilities to, it can update the data, it can even change the whole structure of your document just by using this document object model. So DOM is that much powerful. Okay, so whatever the changes you do, each and everything at finally goes to the DOM only. DOM is the one which need to be execute all those changes. So by using DOM, JavaScript can change or remove anything. Okay, change or remove or add all the HTML elements in the document. It can even add many elements, or it can even have the capabilities to delete the whole document, and it can make a page like a blank page. That much powerful DOM is. Okay, so now if you just go with some of the methods how you can access the elements by DOM. Okay, so for example, just finding the elements in DOM, what we can do. Let me so for finding the elements. So just now is in document dot. So here you can use the selector concepts as a CSS selectors again comes back into picture here. So in the CSS selectors, what you will do, you'll select by using the selectors like dot, class, hashtag, ID, and whichever the selectors you have, you use them, right? So here we can directly get them by select them by using the name. For example, get element by all of will be camel case ID. Okay, so ID, and then what we have same way, get element by class name or tag name. Okay, then what we have, get element by class name. So like this, these are some of the basic things. Okay, so we also have like others like query selectors, get element by query selector. It will do like, instead of accessing the element with a particular type of selector, query selector, what it will do, it will give us the privilege of accessing any type of selector directly. For example, here if I give like this, I don't need to mention any value like dot or symbols, I don't need to mention. So when I use the query selectors, I just new a curly braces and I'll just give dot name, class name or hash ID name, like that I can give. So the query selector automatically handles the whole thing of my selects that particular element by using the particular class or whichever you given. Okay. So now let me give I'll just go with, we'll go with basic example here. How my DOM is powerful to handle things. Okay. So let me create a div here. Okay. So div add. So let me give a class name or ID. Let me go with ID. Will be good. Equal to inner HTML. Okay. So I given an ID called inner HTML. Okay. So I given a word called hello. So I have a content when I go to the browser. and see, I reload, see. Yeah. Instead of view, let me go with H1. I'd like to go with H1. It will be big. Hello. Okay, this is the content that I have in my DOM, basically. But what I can do in the script, we'll make it change by using the DOM, dynamic changes. So what I'll do, document dot get element, see, name, tag names, selection, anything you can use. I want ID. What is my ID? Hmm? Inner HTML. Is the spelling is correct? Okay. So dot inner HTML. Okay. So now what I was just selected this element by using the ID, and I need to mention what is the change that I need to make there. So I need to make the changes to the HTML. So I'll go with the change of inner HTML. That's what the change I need to give. Text, right? Content. So then here goes the value that you need to change. So by default is hello. So I need to give like everyone, welcome everyone. Okay. So welcome everyone. Okay. So for example, if this is the output that I need to give, so as soon as my page get loaded, okay, by default it will be hello. But in a fraction, if you see, when my pages get loaded, it became to everyone. But when you go with the elements and check, so even if you see here also it got updated, right or wrong? But in the document, do you have the same content here? No, but we are managing it as soon as it went into when it went into the browser. I was handling it with a different content. So dynamic management, we call it as generally. Okay. So even we can select by using the attributes and all also. So tomorrow what we are going to discuss our tomorrow's topic is DOM only. So we'll be going to discuss about how to create the dynamic images, how to create the dynamic tables. Okay. We all discuss, and also try to check how to deal with the dynamic HTML. Okay, DOM, nothing but DOM, and how you can manipulate the HTML elements, or how you can access the triggers or selectors. Try to check this and all. Okay, try to check about DOM. So totally I given 3 topics today. So what are those? Math, events, and DOM. Clear? Just go brief on BOM also. Clear? And event listeners. Don't forget about event is different event listener. Just try to go with the comparison of these two also. Clear? Is anybody have any doubts so far? Okay then. So online people, anybody have any doubts?